Okay, hey, it's Sarah, and I want to tell you a little bit more about how I schedule as a teletherapist that does not set foot in the schools, and I have to do it all over the computer. So it sounds daunting. It's actually not, and I found it to be in some ways less stressful than doing it in the schools in person. So first of all, what you're going to need to do the first week of school is to pull down a caseload. Whether that requires you to get it from an IEP system or if you need to go to administration and get a list from them. Every school district is different. I've always been able to pull it down from the IEP system, which makes my life easier. I would also double check like the second day of school, the third day of school, pull down that information again, because what happens is that a lot of kids show up the first day of school, whether they're new to the district or they're new to the school. They moved maybe within the district itself. And so you need to be sure that you didn't miss anybody. And that has happened to me before, where I've just gone off the first day and then oopsie, the next day a couple more came in that I didn't see, but I didn't pull down the caseload until sometimes I pull down the caseload maybe every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks I have a good look at the caseload in the IEP system just to make sure I haven't missed anything. But so what I do, you got to make sure you got that caseload, and then you need to find out all of the teachers that the students have. And so with teletherapy, for me personally, I'm not in just one school, and I'm in 2 different districts. 4 different schools, 2 different districts. So there's a lot of different teachers. Teachers change. So it's worth emailing the principal, getting the rundown of all the teachers' names, and actually making sure that you get more than just, like, for example, Mrs. Lopez. There might be multiple Lopez's. So you want to be sure you get all the teachers' first names as well. Okay. So, plus you want to know if it's a man or a woman. You'd hate to email somebody assuming it's a Mrs. and it turns out it's a Mr. That's important too. So you're going to want to email all of them, introduce yourself, tell them the day you're there. At least with me, I'm in, like I said, one school every day. So it's a different school every day. So I make it clear that this is the day I'm there. I won't be there any other days. And if there's a problem with the scheduling, we have to figure it out. We have to get it done in the one day. So there's a restraint, not a restraint. There's a constraint. And whenever you put in a constraint, I feel like it actually makes things easier because you can't argue with that. So that's what I do. So I email everybody, and this year in particular, I got so few responses. I may have gotten 1 response per school. So that means 1 teacher replied back to me. So what do you do when you get limited email responses and you're not in the school? So you're teletherapy. What I did, and the school also, make sure with your contract that they know that the first couple days of school are really important for you to get all the numbers correct, get your systems in order, and set up that schedule so that you can do effective therapy and not have any snafus as the year wears on. So it's important for you to definitely go in there and make sure that you have time that you can devote to getting this right the first time. Okay. So what I did was I had my aide go and walk the school, just as if potentially I had done it. And luckily, the aides that I have at the schools are well known to staff, and they also are no-nonsense kind of people. They actually do other things around the school, so they're known to be pretty no-nonsense and respected by the teachers and the students. So I just said, look, the teachers that haven't responded, can you go ask? And so teachers came. Then I literally sat from my computer, and my aide came to me back and forth with information about students and wrote it down, made a schedule. It worked out really, really great. And I didn't have to be the intermediary. I didn't have to be the go-between. It was just me writing it down. Now, that really helped because then the second week when we were implementing the schedule and starting to pull kids, there were a couple times where even though we'd laid it out, we'd made sure we went and they weren't there. Either the students weren't there or they were in PE or they were with the occupational therapist. And here we are, our back is against the wall. I'm only there one day. I can't just say, not a problem, I'll switch them. I just say, look, that's it. So that's when I reached out to, in the case of the students that were actually at PE during the time that I thought was good for them, my aide went back and figured out that a better time slot would have been in the morning, and I actually happened to have a slot. So that worked out. In the other case where the occupational therapist was with the students, when you're a teletherapist, you don't have everybody's information. So you can't really say, oh shoot, I don't even know who the OT is. So you can't email that person directly. So what I did was I just emailed the principal. Look, this is the only slot I have, and those students were with the occupational therapist. Can you give me either her information, or if you don't mind emailing on my behalf, to see if we can switch it? The principal gave me the information. I emailed the occupational therapist, and she was so nice, and I was able to maintain that spot. So the problem is I have only one day. So as much as, I just laid out my case, I have one day and I really need this spot. I literally was so grateful and nice in the email, and just be over the top nice in the emails, because the way things are read on emails, sometimes if you're too blunt in writing, it really comes off harsh. So I'm actually the kind of person that does little emojis, just a colon and a parentheses at the end, like, hey, and when she said she could switch it for me, I was like so nice and grateful, because truly I am. But anyway, yeah, that's how I started off the year in teletherapy scheduling, and so far so good. Anyway, if you have any questions for me, feel free to comment below, and definitely like and subscribe. I'm going to be putting up more videos all the time. Every Friday I want to put up a speech therapy video, so stay tuned. Thank you.